Beyonce did what? Y'all need to come in here because this is pure madness. Just when we thought 50 Cent was finished with the Diddy documentary, he just dropped that a part 2 is on the way. And not only that, people are now speculating that this next part will center around exposing Beyonce and Jay-Z for their alleged connection to Diddy's antics. Jaguar Wright and DaBaby were literally hinting at this a long time ago. And if you've been paying attention, you already know they were dragged non-stop for saying it. But listen, 50 Cent has officially entered the conversation, and he's bringing all the smoke. So the question is, what exactly did Beyonce do with Diddy? And how much proof do the authorities really have that could even put her in RICO territory? Let's break it down. Now, if you've been following this entire situation involving Beyonce, then you know she's been pulled into this Diddy drama right alongside Jay-Z. And honestly, I would love to stick up for her, but the receipts are hard to ignore. There have been multiple reports accusing her of doing some extremely wild things that make people question why a RICO charge hasn't already happened. At the top of the list is the alleged confession tied to the death of Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, Kathy White. When Kathy White passed away, reports everywhere claim she died from a brain aneurysm. That information even came directly from her official autopsy results. However, several people, including Jaguar Wright, refused to accept that explanation and instead accused Beyonce and Jay-Z of being involved in her death.
Was taken unfairly. She actually died screaming. And the Carters are responsible. But one of them is just a little more responsible than the other. Question is, did Sean Carter delete his mistress, his pregnant mistress, because his wife was jealous? Or could it be possible that maybe his wife's temper is just a little worse than most people think? And maybe he just had to clean it up to protect the brand's sake.
And don't forget that infamous Piers Morgan interview that nearly landed her in a lawsuit from Jay-Z and Beyonce. She went on national television outright accusing Beyonce of being involved in Aaliyah's death. She didn't stop there either. She pulled Jay-Z into it as well, alleging that he was secretly bankrolling the investigation against R. Kelly so that nothing could ever be traced back to him.
And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about.
And since we're already talking about Aaliyah, we can't ignore the fact that for years, people have been speculating that she was removed so Beyonce could have a clearer path to success in the industry. On top of that, many claim Beyonce was jealous of Aaliyah because Jay-Z only began pursuing her after he failed to convince Aaliyah to be his girlfriend. And honestly, the questionable events that happened right before Aaliyah's death only added fuel to those rumors. To start with, Aaliyah reportedly never wanted to board that plane. She was allegedly given a sedative without her permission, concussion, which caused her to lose consciousness. After she was knocked out, they placed her onto the plane, despite her clearly stating that she did not want to get on it. Then suddenly, she passes away. And shortly after, Beyoncé's career begins to rise in a way it hadn't before. Dame also shared details about how Jay wanted to pursue a relationship with Aaliyah after R. Kelly was finished with her. It was described as if he and R. Kelly had made some kind of wager over whether Jay could also sleep with Aaliyah, since R. Kelly had already been with her when she was just 15, and now it was supposedly Jay's turn to see if he could do the same. According to Dame, Jay was sending her flowers and inviting her to events, but she wasn't entertaining any of it because she wanted something more serious from him instead.
I guess Jay was trying to get at her as well, and I didn't know. He was sending flowers and he was courting her.
Because the rumor originally was that you were connected to Jay. Exactly. Jay and I were hanging out a lot. He's my homie. We have a lot of fun together, but we never dated like that.
I'm gonna leave it.
So you have a boyfriend in your life?
It's personal life. That's
personal?
the personal life.
No.
I don't really discuss it. It's hard when you're in this business. You become a
Can't
public
talk about
figure.
it.
You know what I mean? And everything you do belongs to the public, and that's fine. But there's parts that you want to keep for you.
Now, when it comes to the RICO charges that 50 is allegedly pushing for Beyoncé to face, people started making those claims after it came out that Beyoncé had been closely tied to Diddy for years. For a long time, everyone thought it was just Jay-Z involved, but it turns out Beyoncé may have been way more connected than people realized. Back when Beyoncé was still part of Destiny's Child, the group almost signed with Bad Boy Records, but Diddy passed on them, saying he was only interested in Beyoncé and not the rest of the girls. But here's the part that really has people talking. Word on the street is that Beyoncé is already taking steps to protect herself, especially after 50 Cent dropped that documentary. Some people don't know this, but after releasing it, 50 said there was a lot more he wanted to include but couldn't at the time. He also said he plans to release all of that information next year. Basically, it's expected to be a season 2 of the documentary, with even more people exposed, and allegedly, Beyoncé and Jay-Z could be part of it too.
Everything couldn't make the. It was 4 episodes.
Right.
So it was a lot. You had to pick and choose things. Like even in like an area where he chooses to date people who he knows previously dated someone. He has a baby by a woman that was dating Tupac.
Wow.
To add to it, but we had to cut it down so it
For
could.
time.
Yeah.
So are you coming out? I know next year is going to be a number 2, season 2.
I just put it on YouTube.
I just put it on YouTube. Well, we can subscribe and get it.
It's still unclear how true it is that this second installment will actually include Beyoncé and Jay-Z, but whatever the case may be, it seems to be enough to have Beyoncé on edge. As of now, she's allegedly making plans to leave the country and later pushed the narrative that she had no idea what was happening behind the scenes. An alleged insider from her circle spilled this information through a blind item, and baby, it's messy. According to the source, industry insiders have been whispering about this for quite some time. The singer has threatened to leave the country on multiple occasions. She's tired of the control, the pressure, and the handlers who make every decision for her. Her team fears she could leave without warning, and they have reason to worry. The singer struggles with depression and suicidal thoughts. Her team views her as a risk to herself, but the real fear is losing their biggest source of income. They've kept her under control for years, but that control is slipping. She's close to rebelling. She's exhausted by her mother's control and fed up with her husband's influence. The source continued, but here's the real tea. She knows what happened to her idol when he tried to break free, and she's terrified the same thing could happen to her. That's why she's quietly making moves, planning her escape, and making sure that when she finally disappears, she won't be forced to return. Believe whatever you want, but if she suddenly starts canceling shows or spending more time overseas, just know it's not just for fun. When everything comes out, remember this post. These claims from the blind item line up closely with statements made earlier by popular YouTuber Storm Monroe, who previously suggested that Beyoncé might divorce Jay-Z in an effort to protect herself once things start spiraling. But now I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Beyoncé allegedly facing RICO charges? And do you really believe she and Jay-Z could be exposed in the next part of Diddy's documentary? Drop your opinions in the comments below, and don't forget to click here to watch this next video.